Tired. The energy has been really draining the past few days. Right around Scorpio full moon, maybe an hour before, I could just feel the energy drain. Even my pets were just laying around all day. My daughter's super tired. I'm tired. But I feel the energy coming back already. That's going to be the Mars thing. I feel the Mars will really be connected to our energies in relation to your physicality. I mean, generally speaking, you look to Mars to see health in a person. And what I mean by health, it's like I don't like hierarchical systems where values are placed at top or bottom based off of a way of being in relation to the world. I know we can't help it, but we get in our feels with these identifications related to things that have been denied and called out within society, but they're all within us always and always have been, and we got to call them out in our own ways. So that was a little tirade on hierarchy for a second. Just because you don't identify with hierarchy doesn't mean you aren't possessed by it autonomously. You're programmed through that resonance. And you got to find it within yourself. Out there will help you to find it within yourself, but only when you over identify yourself with what's out there. Then you meet reality. You meet people who have different perspectives because their experiences have showed them their truth or seemingly what their truth could be. But they got to continue to follow the call to the self, to the whatever's pulling them. I love fucking loud things like people with loud motorcycles. That's a real man right there. You know, that guy deserves attention. See, this world pisses me off. People are not very smart. And how do I judge intelligence? It's how conscientious are you? Are you too conscientious or not conscientious enough? It's a game, it's a balance, it's an art. I'm starting to feel the Martian stuff rising, and I've got a lot of Mars in my chart. And I have Mars and Aries. I don't mean to be confrontational, it's just how I learn. So you're going to feel it, how I'm expressing there. That's emotionally. So when you get a lot of energy in the body, you have energy to do things. When you get a lot of energy in the mind, you consume things. When you get a lot of energy in the in your feelings, emotions rise up. When I'm too emotional, where it's rising up from the mind, and I'm putting words to meanings with this anger conviction, then I know I have to move. I have to do something. I'm not being active enough to let the energy out in the most beneficial way. So if you have kids or you want to know yourself or someone else, look at their Mars and it will help you to understand how they can release tension, how you can. Now it catches us. I don't look at the chart every day and plan everything. I never do that. That would be a horrible way to live life, planning everything based around a system. The system is true, but the system is only there to show you how to live. It's not there to guide you into specifics, at least not for long. I mean, sometimes I'll fall into that. I will, it's what we learn, what we do. When we learn something, it becomes a God to us, and we want to share what that is, and we're learning as we share it, and we overstep our boundaries and we give unsolicited advice, or we push our convictions towards others. But most people, that's how it always is. It's coming at us, we're learning through each other, through this. Intention is key. Most people, they don't seek the intention because they have a low self-opinion of themselves. And either the person is going to be better than them or bad just like them. And either way, it's not going to make them feel good. So you got to get to your own intentions. I don't know how I got on that diatribe, but Mars, 25 degrees Pisces here, coming into a balsamic phase conjunction with Neptune. Yeah. The ineffable meets something of a will. Very mutable, malleable energy right now for your Martian expression. If you like to create, this would be amazing for that. This is generally speaking. If you're in poor health right now, or you feel down, you can use this Martian energy as mental exercises, tactile healing. One thing that I used to do when I first got into meditation, I did this tree stance. I didn't do this, but I just stood. You just stand with your shoulders back, tilt your pelvis up a little bit or out, forward, thrust it forward a little, bend your knees, drop a bit. Try and center the head with where your heels are on the floor. You can kind of find the most comfortable place, and then just kind of keep your eyes up, keep your posture up. Then you close your eyes and you stand like that. Then you start to feel the bottom of your feet on the floor, whatever you're standing on. You can feel where the pressure is in your feet. Do that for a little bit. Then you slowly rock forward. You can feel different aspects of your feet, the pressure, it's activating different muscles in your feet. You can feel the muscles activating as you rock and releasing. You just bring that awareness up to your ankles. You keep feeling it. Up to the shins, up to the calves, the knees. You just slowly work your way up to the top of your head, and you will feel what changes, what body dynamic shifts at the top of your head. That was my gateway into all this stuff. It was just realizing how much I ignore, how much I don't know about simple things, because I've been holding all this shit that doesn't matter. It mattered in the mind for image. So that's a little exercise you can do with this Mars energy right now. So balsamic phase conjunction with Neptune, healing the spirit wound. In life, you come to the points where you're healing from experiences. First, there's anger and hatred, and there's the charge of redemption. This loop that got activated, you don't know how to shut it off. And then you put it into things, and then you get tired of that, you release it, and then you start to, You don't, you forgive, but it's not a forgiveness of mind. It's like a forgiveness of understanding. People do stupid things, people do evil things. People are handed down trauma loop conviction. They're handed down spiritual dis-ease, and they share that. And as that impact hits, it spreads through existence, through psyche, through us, in our relations. If someone goes through real terrible things, they may give that imprint off to other people in indirect ways. And they may hand that to their children. They may feed that into society in order to climb something, gain something, learn something. So healing the wounds of your spirit, how do you nourish your spirit? How do you make what you could be in reality sacred? Moon will be trining Mars and Neptune in a few hours. Third decan of Scorpio, coming off the Scorpio full moon. Full moons, to me, it's like there's always a little bit of a release and grab energy. I, especially in Scorpio, I didn't really grab anything. I'm not one of these manifester people. I have no idea. I don't understand the value of what that is. To me, wherever I go, whatever I do, I'm this. This is the only thing that has to change. Everything else will be a result of the process, I figure. Would it be easier if I was more into that stuff? Maybe. But it could be a lot worse. So I figure what I know or what I know to be of value is something, a mystery within myself. It's something to focus my attention on. But so this release and grab energy, Scorpio is energy exchange. The dynamics of exchange, the power that brings, and the lack. You feel it's kind of like you've never heard something. You hear a song that's the best song you ever heard in your life, and then it goes away and you never hear it again. It's like that. But what was left with you? That's what you cultivate through the polarity in Taurus, through your process, the maturation of digestion of what these feelings and things are. So feel into if you lived in the perfect world, who would you be? How do you be that person right here, right now? Then whatever world comes, you're already what you're meant to be, what you're destined to be, what you desire to be. And desire is a good thing. If you have desire, it means you're alive. It means that you aren't in the nihilistic, virtue-seeking doldrums of whatever's in vogue in this world. Because the world of man is the projection of a mimicry. And the only way for it to live is to feed upon what we give it. And it doesn't want us stepping outside of what that is, creating our own worlds. That's a way I see reality. But I see other people who don't believe that reality and they do great. So I'm not saying it's the only way, but I'm saying like there is people that can achieve in this world and they bring their world into reality. And everyone has that ability. And of course, we will always be frustrated. We will always go up and down. But the heights, the depths, that will vary as we age, as we mature, as we find resonance with a baseline, the 0 point of our existence. The ring that's at the center of that's the ring within you in every life you've ever been in, every life you will ever live. And if you want to break it into the blah and go the we are all one thing, well, there it is. What that exactly does for you, I don't know, but hold it as your truth if that's your game, if that's your thing. We also have this Jupiter Uranus conjunction. Learning how to throw lightning bolts, basically. Ideas. Words that can uproot meaning. Truths that will arise, which we will either deny or we will hold, and they will transform us. Usually, the ones that transform us are out of our control. So always question the things you can hold. Are they actually really true if we can hold them? Or is that just static conviction that we're digesting so we can hold our progress for the next phase, the next cycle? My conviction is in the self, where I put the value. It's in figuring out me. Why? Probably so I can get tired of that and just release it. I'm an 11. I'm a receptive 1. You have to understand the self in order to understand others. And so I don't cut out the middleman. I take in all comers, but I always settle on the self. And the world settles me in on me. All right, let me give some suggestions here based off that real quick. Because we forget there's numerology. We forget that the zodiacal wheel is a system of 12ing. And that 12ing correlates to these created constellations, given mythology, spirit form through awareness. So if you're a 1, how do you use this Mars to heal the wounds of your spirit? Well, where have you been wrong? Where have you wronged? Who have you wronged? Why? You don't have to take full accountability, but you can't push it off on another either. What we do, we're trying to figure out why we do it. So if you do things that fuck yourself over, you got to figure out why. Eventually, you will get tired enough and you will figure it out. But how do you heal the thing that is being fed back into you from the other? It's just a different response. If you react, I react a lot, and then I have to respond afterwards. I have to feel into the mistake or the transgression, and then I reciprocate apologetically for truth, not for someone's ego, but I will for truth. If I'm wrong and I'm only insulting their ego, I still will apologize. But so that's one thing to do to heal the wound. Because when you do these things, it just, especially when you do things without thinking, and if you become aware of response and reaction enough, long enough, you won't have to think because you have digested whatever the wound is, and you will be in the truth of your own conviction as well as you know it, and open and ready to learn when it requires sharpening or dulling the blade of the self. So twos with this Mars energy. And this is for the Mars-Neptune conjunction. So the wounds of your spirit which live in relation. Of course, you know you're 50% of it. You just heard the one talk. Remember, if you're a 2, if you're 11, if you're a 1, if you're whatever, you can be any number you want to be. It's just thinking in terms of that energy, feeling into what that is. And then you go back in history in the memory banks and you imagine the situations in different perspectives, from the other person's perspective, from your own, but in a different mood, in a different awareness, because it's you doing it, not the past. So you can do that, and you can actually look at your current relationship with yourself, with your job, with your others, and suss out which dynamics are not benefiting you. Which ones are prolonging pain? What do we do that prolongs the pain? Like I respond in certain ways and I know it's the wrong way, but I don't know it until after. And then I realize the energy of the other and their response, reaction. And then I realize I'm tired of that energy. And then I think about, why do I hold the charge? Why does it matter? Why do I need to respond in a certain way? Why does something matter as much as it does? And it's not even related to the person, the dynamic. So you can use this energy to get into what that is for you. All right, threes, you can speak on this. Speak your wounds into existence, write them down, do a burning ritual or something. Sometimes I'll write when I was aware of my victimhood. I wrote a letter to the person, telling them what they did to me, what I thought about it, how I felt, and then I forgave them at the end. But I didn't do that unless I was ready for it. It wasn't, it came naturally to me. It wasn't an assignment. It wasn't something I saw on YouTube and learned. It just made sense. So intention is key. But you could do like write that letter or whatever when you're ready, save it. And then if you feel ready one day, you burn it in a sacred fire. You could also tell someone how much you love them, how much you care for them. You could speak to them even if they might be dead. Even if you can't say it to their face, you could say it to yourself. But if you speak it into existence, I feel that would be a good use of the energy of Mars. All right, fours, foundational. What has made you strong? What has given you the conviction of your truth? What conviction of your truth is actually yours and what is someone else's? What is the tradition? What has been handed down to you? What is of value to you because it's of value to the other? How can you honor that but change it? How can you continue to grow without scorched earth methods, without defiling everything you've honored to get here, everything you've constructed to get here, you built to be here? Little things. Getting into the body would probably be good. Channel the tension so that when you make these decisions or you catch these dynamics as they rise up, you're in a more calibrated baseline. If if I'm all like got all this tension, and I do a lot, and I haven't moved it out and something comes up, that tension is the filter of my consciousness, like it is now actually. I'm sure you can see it. So healing the foundation, the ancestors, through making your life sacred is a good one as well. What are the things that make you feel like life is sacred? How can you share that maybe or expand upon that? You could even try pushing the envelope and trying new things. Okay, fives. You know what I'm going to say for fives. That's tension and form right there. Get into your body, of course. If you're creative, do that. If you like to hike, if you like to go outdoors, this would be good for that. Um, Contrasts of elements, cold and hot. All the advisements I've given up to this point probably would be good for you as well in varying degrees. Mm. If you've got a lover, then this is good energy for that, for sacred union. If you don't, then getting into the body, like yoga or exercise or dancing if you do that, or climbing or hiking would be good. Getting under the sun is always good. All right, so six, maybe create a beautiful song, maybe some poetry, write something. Write something to the child, your inner child, who you were when you were young, If you have a child, write a letter to them. You don't need to give it to them. If a loved one has passed on, you could write a letter to them. So we know harmony because there's discord. The times of discord show you the value of the harmony. And the true expression of the harmony isn't in real time so much as it is in the procession that you hand down to others. Your creations, your expressions, your kids, what you do, how you share it. So maybe treat yourself the way you treat others. Give unto yourself. Write the letter to the youngster within yourself and focus on healing a wound. Maybe you knew wounds of the mother or the father. Maybe you could write to heal those. All right, sevens. Trials and tribulations. What have they taught you? What strengths were given to you through those processes, and how have the strengths shown you there's an oscillation when it's good to use your strengths and it's not so good to use them? How have the strengths deterred us at times, prolonged the misery, allowed because others needed it? I'm not going to say martyred, but you understood there's a constructive process that rises in relationships. And there's a value in that, and it's a digestion. It's the emotions which rise, the feelings which are growing, bringing a blooming of the spirit to form. So you can bring that bloom to form in this energy consciously. Every number I talk about is applicable. It's just remember the phases, up and down and all that. The cultivation of spirit is an art worth living. All right, it's working through this, manifesting this healing. So maybe you're a healer. Maybe you have a healing, a propensity for healing. Maybe you want to heal the world. Plant a tree. Say a prayer. Go out on the next new moon, get an acorn or a seed and plant it in the dark of the night. Then on the next full moon, say a prayer over some water and water that seed. And then carry the growth of whatever that tree is or whatever you planted within yourself, and know that that's your spirit you're bringing to form every day. What are you reaching for? What are you trying to grow? What are you trying to cultivate? The whys, you may not have the whys now, just a feeling. So just create the thing that pulls your spirit forward, and the whys will arise. The meaning will grow through it. All right, so nines. Okay. This could be like creating a new universe, maybe a new world, maybe you want to heal yourself through a new expression of the dream. Maybe you see where some dreams that had some truths in them, but the truths that were in them was to get you to realization of where you are at here now. And there's a seed of truth in all vision, all dream, and it's growing through our awareness, our consciousness as we go through experiences. developing the strength, the yang, the conviction. And a lot of times the conviction, it's inborn, but there is a dialing it down to understand exactly where your focus feels best, most powerful, where the potential and the meaning meet. So how would you heal yourself if you could? And why can't you? What would it take? What might it take? You don't have to have the answers, just have the feeling, and then let it guide you. All right, so 11s. I mean, you don't need advisement. You already know. Just kidding. Where's your hubris? Is it in a blue jay? Are you hanging on to something for a reason? What am I hanging on to the angst for? I know the shit show's all fake. It's all staged. It's a hoax. And what I'm talking about is all the movements in this world. They're partial truths. The truth is much deeper. It's much greater. How do I realize that? How do we realize that? How do we find the language to put that meaning into form? And why might we? What is the dream that we killed as a child so that we could be in this place? So that we could be open to receiving, curious to figure out what the fuck it is. But we're the ones who put it down. We denied it. So unburying or uncovering what that is. And getting into the form, getting into the body. All right. So 22s, Master Builder Supremes. You probably don't need any advisement. Maybe you could help everyone else, like the 11s. You could like give them a few $1,000,000 or something. I'll give you a little bit of XRP and some trading secrets or something. And I don't know. What is the legacy that you could heal? Is it a perception, or is it actually tangible? What I mean is it something living, like a movement or a business or a community, or is it a name, a reputation? How can you merge those things? How can you expand upon those things? How can you bring old mythology to life so that it can grow anew? All right, 33s. My God. I'm talking to 33s. I don't think so. But if I am, maybe do some Sudoku or something. Make some popcorn, put a little salt on there with a little bit of coconut oil. That might be really good in this time. All right, well, this video, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just felt like talking. And I think that was good. I mean, for me at least. If you made it this far, and even if you didn't, thanks for watching, listening, and being. Come on.